What's up, guys? My name's Devin. This is my first ever poker vlog attempt and poker vlog video that's going to be posted. Today we are playing either 1-2 or 1-3, yet to be determined, at the Casino of Montreal. Why can't I flip my camera during a video? That's ridiculous. But anyway, this is the casino. Gorgeous building. We hate it here. We've lost a lot of money in the table games, you know, blackjack, war, all that shit. But their poker room's good. Their rake is low compared to Playground out in Kahnawake, Montreal. So yeah, super excited to show you guys what I can do and get some action going. So we'll see you in there. So we end up playing 1-3 and we sit down for $350. This is the max buy-in. So the very first hand we sit down at, and at this new table, I peel back Queen Jack offsuit in the cutoff. On the gun plus one limp. I limp because I'm not trying to raise here, not trying to get too out of line right away. And the big blind checks the option. Flop comes down, Jack 3-6 rainbow. It's gonna check around to the low jack, who just bets 5. I call and 3 others call. Just not trying to make an inflated pot with a top pair medium kicker here. I sure see there is merit to raising, but for the first hand, we're just going to see how everyone wants to play it. Turn is a board pairing 3 of spades, bringing in a backdoor flush draw. And now the low jack bets again, but really small for 10, and I just feel like he was weak. And I wanted to charge flush draws, straight draws, etc. So I actually end up raising to 40 here to isolate him. And interestingly enough, the +1 player cold calls my 40, and then the low jack ends up folding, which was the original raiser. And the river is an 8 of spades, bringing in the backdoor flush draw. He checks, I just snap check back. He says 3, and we're gonna lose this one. So in this next hand, we pick up King 9 of clubs under the gun. It's a tighter game here at 1-3 at Casino of Montreal, so I decide to open 10, little standard 3x raise. Obviously there's 4 callers, no 3-betting ever. So 4 callers to a flop of ace, queen, deuce with 2 clubs. We have the nut flush draw, backdoor straight draw, and this is a board that's just way better for me, but I'm gonna check as well when we're 5 ways, given that there's no 3-betting. People could have slow played sets, 2-up-2, etc. And now the low jack just open jams for $58 effective. And then the button re-jams for 72. It folds to me, and I'm just like, oh my god. But with the nut flush draw, I decided to call because we're beating lower flush draws, straight draws. We're okay against a pair. The low jack shows ace deuce for flop 2 pair, and the button has 5-3 of clubs for a gutter and a flush draw. We can only run it once at Casino Montreal, so that's what we do. The run it is the jack of diamonds, and the river is like a 7 of hearts, just brick. We win the side pot for 14, but we're gonna lose the main pot here. In this next hand, we pick back Jack 10 off on the button. It's gonna fold all the way around to the cutoff, who raises to 10. I call, the small blind calls, and the big blind calls. So $40 in the pot when the flop comes 10-5-6 rainbow. Not bad, if top pair, bad kicker, but could be worse. It's gonna check to the cutoff, who continues for 15. I call and the big blind calls. So 3 ways to a turn. The turn is a 3. Doesn't really change anything. Brings in 7-4. So unlikely straights. 2 pairs are there, but not too worried still. And now it checks to me. I decide to pot control and just check back. Get to see a free river and get cheaply to showdown. And the river's now a jack, giving me top 2 and no flush draw on board. So we're sitting very strong now. The big blind leads for 30. She's a way tighter older woman who I've just noticed doesn't play too many hands, but I think we're missing out on value if we don't raise it. So when the cutoff folds, I jam for around $90 effective. She actually ends up tank calling and shows pocket 5s for a flop set. Just shows you like how the lower stakes games, people are just unreal here in Montreal, slow playing these sets and not knowing what's going on. But they're gonna lose this one as well. So we've lost a few in a row now. Our stack's actually gone down to 200 from the original 350 we bought in for. So we're looking to turn it around right now. I actually did missed the first few minutes of the filming of this hand, so as you can see on the flop, I have king 3 of clubs. I'm on the button. Under the gun raises to 15, folds to me. I decide to call because the under the gun's been a splashy player that I've seen, and both the blinds surprisingly fold. So the flop comes 6-5-3 with 2 clubs. Pair and a flush draw is really all we can ask for on this board. He continues for 20, and I just flat this raise. Definitely merit to raising here, just because it's a board that favors me much over him, but this is what I decided to do in the moment. Turn is now a board pairing 6. He bets 55 with continuing to tell a story that he's got an overpair or better clubs or a better draw. But this is also a board that favors me much more than him, and he can be value betting over pairs that I think I can get to fold. He's a good solid player. And so when he continues for 55 on the turn, I end up jamming for $130 effective, and he snaps it off and shows queens with the queen of clubs. So we got to get there right now. We got to get there on the river, and the river is a saving 9 of clubs for the second nut flush for us. And some guy, right as I flip over, king 3 of clubs, he says he had 8-4 of clubs. So we were drawing very thin, but we got there. That hand was the beginning of an absolute tear of a run that I go on, and these next 4 hands happen in literally 10 minutes, so strap in. So in this next one, again, the action goes really quick, and I don't get the chance to start filming until the flop, but we pick up pocket 2s under the gun, and I end up opening to $10. There's 2 callers, and they're both noticeably short stacks. I think they both started with around 120 effective. So the flop is absolutely stellar with king 4 deuce, 2 diamonds, bottom set, can't really ask for much better. The checks to me, and I continue for 15 on this board. The low jack calls the 15, and then the small blind ends up jamming for 100. I just call the 100. Obviously, I'm not gonna chase away any worse hands, worse draws or anything. So I just call, feign weakness, and then the low jack ends up rejamming for about 120, 115. I obviously snap it off. The small blind shows 6-9 of diamonds, and we never even see what the low jack has because he ends up mucking his cards. Run it is clean, and it actually comes running 9s. So instead of the flush coming in, the small blind hits running 9s, but we boat up and take it down. So in this hand, we're heating up still. We pick up ace king of spades in the low jack. Under the gun player limps, and I raise to 15 to isolate. The cutoff ends up calling my 15, and it folds to the limper, who now limp jams for 100. He just rebought for 100, and ends up shoving it all in. I call the 100 because the other player has less, and the third person calls all in for around 90. The flop comes 4-9-6 with 2 clubs. The turn is the ace of diamonds, and the river's a jack of spades. I show, and we're up against ace queen off and ace 3 suited, and we're taking down this $300 pot. So now 2 hands after the ace king of spades hand, I peel back pocket kings in the small blind, and the button to my right opens to 15 after 1 limper. I am obviously 3-betting this 100% of the time in the small blind, and I 3-bet to 40. The limper folds, and the cutoff calls my 40. The flop comes 9-8-4 rainbow, so it's pretty dry flop. I think I'm going to continue a lot when I'm 3-betting from the small blind on this flop, and I continue for $30. He ends up making the call. Turn is just the best card in the deck. It was the king of hearts, giving us top set and the nuts. With this absolute monster of a hand, I actually decided to continue betting for 55, just looking to get value from straight draws or worse pocket pairs that don't believe me. He ends up looking over at me, thinking for 20 seconds, but just makes the call for 55. And the river is another 9, giving us kings full of 9s. I think it over, thinking about if I should check, because I almost never have a 9 given this action. But I look at his stack, he has about 400, and I bet 175 looking to get value from worse pairs and maybe a 9 that'll obviously call. And if he has anything that just is nothing, he'll either go all in as a bluff or just end up folding. And when I bet 175, he goes all in for 375 effective. I snap call and turn over my kings right away. He ends up showing king 9 of spades for 9s over kings. Like, unbelievable cooler there.
Attends, Lionel, c'est à nous. Yes, sir. Et Max, on prend toujours.
Juste oui. Je sais pas si tu peux me répondre, mais est-ce que ce monsieur-là peut vous raiser?
Il est tombé de 10.
I had to take it.
20
Moi non.
T'as 51.
Merci.
So we're all having a great time. Met these 2 great guys, super fun to play with, and we're having some drinks. We're hitting some shots at the table. I'm straddling, and I end up sweeping back ace king off in the straddle. There's an open to 10 under the gun by one of the guys who's been drinking with me. The hijack now 3 bets to 30. The button goes all in for 51. And then I end up cold 4-betting to 200, which is basically covering the whole table at this point, or everyone that's left in the hand. And the hijack tank calls and shows pocket queens. I show my ace king, and the button doesn't end up showing. We're going off to a run out, 1 run out always. Board comes 4-10-3 with 2 diamonds. I don't have a diamond in my hand, so no backdoor flush, just 2 overs. Turn is now a 7 of clubs, no help to us. And the river is the 9 of clubs. The short stack, who's the button player, proudly turns over his pocket 9s for a rivered set. So he's gonna win. He's gonna triple up here against me and the other player with queens. But we're still gonna lose the main pot to the guy with queens. After 4.5 hours, I decided to call it a night, racking up this massive win and really fun heater of a session. This is my current reaction of walking out of the casino, leaving that session. Unreal, like unbelievably. The run good was amazing, ran super neatly. Like aces, kings, queens, 10s, just everything you can ask for. How's it going? Look at that, unreal day, unreal night. Met some really cool guys, great session. The numbers will be coming up on your screen. You should be able to see them right here. And next time we'll be going to Playground Casino out in Kanawake of Montreal, because we had a little trouble with the filming here. But hopefully you guys can bear with me with that. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.